Hey guys, Josh Biven here, and welcome to the Sports Living with Coach Biven podcast. My goal in starting this podcast is to cover a wide range of topics in youth sports. Before I get started, I want to thank my sponsors: Biven Grounds Crew, Cooper Biven; Extreme Concrete Cutting, Jay Hunley; Ellis Baseball Academy Performance, Ian Ellis; Gum Heating and Cooling, Ernie and Mandy Gum; Kentucky Select Properties, Eddie and Kristen Kidwell; Play It Again Sports, St. Matthews, Sean Harkins; Shrink Personal Training, Ryan Shrink; Sorg Sport and Wellness, Shelley and Jay Sorg; Striegel Family Dentistry, Jordan Striegel; the Scroggin team at Remax Results Real Estate, Eric and Joe Scroggin; True Officials, Umpire and Referee Gear and Uniforms, Brandon Cooper and Nathan Huber; Went Family Wealth Management, Eric Went and Jessica Biven. Again, thank you to the sponsors who have made this a dream become a reality. Appreciate that. Now, for how all this came about. December 28th, Jessica and I are eating with our good buddy Matt Dennison. We see the TikTok bans coming January 19th. Matt somehow, out of the blue, bets me a food bet. I don't gamble much, so we bet a food bet that I couldn't get 1,000 followers in that 3-week period. So that night I made my first video. 8 days later, making goofy, funny, and what I thought possibly helpful videos, I gained my 1,000th follower. So I won the food bet, and I still continue TikTok today. And yes, my wife still cringes every time one of my buddies shows her a video, so that's probably not going to change. But at some point, making the videos, it made me think of an old dream that I had many years ago, doing something in the youth sports world once my two sons got out of it and basically have gotten older and out of the house. So this is basically how Sports Living with Coach Biven came to life. Now for the why. My plan is to entertain a tad and hopefully educate some parents, players, coaches in the youth sports world by interviewing sports enthusiasts, including college coaches, college players, parents, travel and club ball directors, sports specific trainers, college scouting services, umpires and referees, sports talk radio hosts, and current and retired professional ball players, and others that can help bring some good advice and discussion to the hot topic of youth sports. Basically, any person of interest in the wild world of sports could be on this show. We will always revert back to how youth sports help mold them into the person they are today. The interview style podcast will be a fun way to dive into each guest and how they impacted the youth sports world and how the youth world of sports impacted them. It's a two-way street, as we know. Many stories will be told on a wide range of sports topics, and anticipate some will make you laugh, some will make you think differently, and some will even make you cry. Hopefully not too many of those though, but as we know, the sports world is an up and down roller coaster, and that's why we all need to stick together to help navigate this crazy world of sports together with our young athletes. So, if you ever had experience in youth sports, which I'm sure you are watching this show, you have, you know there are lots of stories to be told: the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll cover them all. This podcast will include both girls and boys sports and topics, so I invite any and all sports enthusiasts to take a listen and enjoy. And as we all know, sports are full of life lessons, not only for the participants, but everyone involved. So let's lace up the sneakers and cleats and take this adventure together. It's going to be a fun one. Sports Living with Coach Biven will be available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and will be announced on my social media platforms. My plan is to interview a special guest from the sports world and release a Sports Living with Coach Biven podcast every 2 weeks. For you beginners, I also plan to have an equipment and gear review each quarter to guide you in the process of choosing the appropriate equipment. I will have the sports equipment that is in season for those reviews. So softball and baseball are coming up, so I'd anticipate a gear review on that. I know it can be quite overwhelming walking into the sporting goods store now these days. So prices, quality, and necessity, especially with all the gadgets out there, uh, you'll need a little help possibly navigating to buy your athlete the best possible equipment to have them become the best athlete they can be. So we'll discuss the bang for your buck. Obviously, prices are outrageous nowadays, especially with ball bats and ball gloves and $300 to $400 to $500 ranges. So we'll get into that, and we'll especially get into that with the older players, coaches, and parents. So I know they're going to need a little bit more pricey equipment. So we'll discuss all that for sure in future equipment and gear reviews. So I'm excited to share this many sports living stories with some pretty awesome lineup of sports enthusiasts in the youth, high school, college, and professional ranks. Speaking of professionals, my first ever guest is going to be an awesome listen with his experience in playing sports, broadcasting sports, and being a parent of young athletes. That's all I'll say for now, and I'm very, very excited to have that awesome guest on and have that come out in the next few weeks. My hope is that it will all lead to helping parents, coaches, and young athletes have the best experience possible. In my 45 years of playing, coaching, and parenting in youth sports, I've been through the successes, the failures, and everything in between, including lots of lessons learned. I was fortunate to play baseball, football, and basketball all the way through my senior year of high school and continued playing college baseball for 4 years. I then started coaching when our son Cooper was 4 years old. In Little League, T-ball, is you guys know how that is. So that's where I started my career of coaching. I continued coaching him and our younger son Tucker in baseball and basketball through their 8th grade seasons. I then became a parent, and I went to games and kept my mouth shut. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. My bad. I yelled at umpires, I yelled at referees, I yelled at coaches, but I did learn things, and I've learned now to actually try to enjoy the game more because it is very fast that this game will be gone, especially when your kids stop playing nowadays at age 10, 12, 14 years old. You really got to enjoy, take it all in, and just sit back and be proud to be their parent. So, as you guys have heard, all kidding aside, I do want to help you navigate this crazy world successfully with the help of my guests. I do feel I can help navigate it. And I also help the process when we get together and talk about it, that it will bring comments, it will bring discussions up. And that's what the goal of this podcast is. So, again, I'm on the YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Hopefully, you will enjoy this podcast as they come out. So, subscribe, like, share. Let all the parents know in the youth sports world that I'm here, and see if we can all help each other out in this sports living world. Thank you. God bless, and play ball.